A decision that no one saw coming shakes the Heartland Ranch to its very core. Amy stands at a crossroad between her past and her future, and the choice she makes will not only break hearts but also remind everyone of the love story that has defined the series from the very beginning. For years, Amy Fleming has carried the memory of Ty Borden like a flame that refuses to go out. Even after his passing, she lived every day on the ranch surrounded by reminders of their bond, the horses they trained together, the trails they once rode, and even the quiet corners of the barn all whispered his name. But life does not stop moving, and slowly another figure stepped into her world. Nathan. Unlike Ty, Nathan came into Amy's life during her loneliest years. He was steady, kind, and offered her the promise of a future without so much pain. Fans watched as Amy tried to open her heart again, but each step toward Nathan seemed heavy, as if she was walking with a shadow over her shoulder. The beauty of Heartland has always been about healing and second chances, and many viewers believed Nathan was Amy's second chance. But deep inside Amy's heart, there was a question she never dared to answer. Could she truly love someone else when a part of her soul would always belong to Ty? This question became louder with every scene of her smiling at Nathan, while her eyes still carried a sadness that spoke louder than words. The pressure around Amy was not only personal, but also carried by the people closest to her. Lou, her sister, wanted Amy to embrace life again and even encouraged her to see what Nathan offered. Grandpa Jack, though wise and patient, reminded Amy that love cannot be forced. That advice lingered in her thoughts as she tried to move forward. The ranch itself became a stage where her emotions played out. Every decision, every glance toward Nathan, and every memory of Ty weighed heavily on hers. The season built toward its shocking moment. The writers crafted Amy's struggle is more than a love triangle. It was about a woman torn between honoring the past and facing the future. It was about a mother who wanted to be strong for her daughter, but who also longed for the man who once gave her everything. Amy's inner conflict grew so strong that even the audience could feel it through the screen. The tension became almost unbearable because everyone knew a choice was coming, but no one knew what that choice would mean for her, for Nathan, or for the legacy of Ty. The moment arrived, not with loud music or sudden surprise, but with a silence so deep it almost echoed across the ranch. Amy stood alone by the corral, the evening sun painting the sky in colors that felt both warm and bittersweet. Nathan had been patient, waiting for her answer, and for many it seemed inevitable that Amy would take his hand and move on. Yet, in that quiet stillness, the truth revealed itself. Amy's heart had already chosen long before she could say the words aloud. She closed her eyes, and in that instant, every memory of Ty came rushing back. The sound of his laughter, the way he believed in her gift with horses, and the strength he gave her in moments when she doubted herself. Ty was gone, yet he was still here, woven into every corner of Heartland and into every beat of her heart. To choose Nathan would have meant closing the door on that part of her life, and Amy could not bring herself to do it. Her love for Ty was not just a memory, it was a part of her identity. When Amy finally spoke, her words carried the weight of years of silence. She admitted that Nathan deserved honesty, and that she could not give him what he was looking for. Her voice cracked, but her resolve was firm. She chose Ty, not in the sense of expecting his return, but in the sense of keeping his love alive within her. She chose loyalty to the man who shaped her life and the bond that defined her journey. This was not about rejecting Nathan as a man, but about accepting that her love story had already been written with Ty, and nothing could erase it. For viewers, this moment struck like lightning. Some cheered because they had long believed Amy's heart would never fully belong to anyone else. Others wept because Nathan had been nothing but kind, and seeing his hopes collapse was painful. Yet at the center of it all stood Amy, a woman finally clear about what her heart wanted. She was not lost between past and present anymore. She had chosen to honor the love that built her, the love that shaped her daughter's life, and the love that still guided her steps on the ranch. The writers of Heartland turned this decision into something larger than romance. It became a statement about grief, healing, and the power of true connection. Amy was not refusing to live again, but she was embracing the reality that Ty's love was irreplaceable by choosing She chose truth, and by speaking that truth, she set both herself and Nathan freed the silence after Amy's words was heavier than any storm that had ever rolled across the Heartland skies. Nathan stood still, his face caught between disbelief and the slow burn of realization. He had waited so long, hoping his patience would be rewarded with a place in Amy's heart, and now that hope slipped away like water through his hands. There were no harsh words from her, no anger or rejection, just a truth that cut deeper than any argument could ever do. She had chosen Ty, and in that choice, Nathan saw the one thing he could never compete with: a memory. What made Nathan's heart break so powerful was not loud outbursts, but the quiet way he carried it. He looked at Amy and saw that she was not rejecting him as a man, but holding on to a love that would never die. And in that moment, he understood fully that he had been walking a path already written in sand. His kindness, his steady nature, his willingness to wait, none of it could erase Ty from Amy's soul. This realization left him hollow, yet strangely calm. Because sometimes the hardest battles are the ones you never had a chance of winning for the audience. Nathan's pain echoed a truth many fear. The idea of loving someone who can never love you back, not because they do not care, but because their heart already belongs elsewhere. Watching his expression shift from hope to sorrow was like watching a candle flicker before finally going dark. His character had always been steady, a rock for others, but now even that steadiness cracked just enough for us to see the man beneath the surface, a man who loved deeply but lost quietly. The brilliance of this scene lies in its restraint. Nathan did not beg or lash out. He did not try to guilt Amy into reconsidering. Instead, he accepted the reality. With grace, even though it broke him inside, he gave a small nod, a gesture of respect for her honesty, and in that gesture the audience could feel both his pain and his dignity. It was as if he was telling Amy that while her heart belonged to Ty, his heart would always remember her. This choice by the writers added layers to Nathan's arc. It showed him not as a rival defeated, but as a man shaped by heartbreak, a character who might now step into a new chapter of his life, carrying both the wound of rejection and the strength it gave him. The fans were left torn, many sympathizing with, wishing he could find happiness, while others respected Amy for staying true to herself. Either way, his heartbreak became one of the most unforgettable moments of the season, while Amy's decision sent shockwaves through the ranch. Another story quietly bloomed in the background. Lou Fleming, long known for her restless heart and complicated relationships, finally stepped into a moment that no one expected. For years, fans had watched her struggle between duty and desire, balancing her role as mother, mayor, and sister. She had loved and lost before, but love always seemed like something that slipped through her fingers. But now in season 19, Lou's heart surprised everyone, including herself. The reveal did not come in a grand romantic gesture, but in the little things. The way she laughed more freely when he was around, the way her usually sharp tone softened in conversations, the way she allowed herself to be vulnerable after years of holding everything together. His presence reminded her of something she had forgotten: how to feel, a calm kind of love that did not demand perfection but encouraged her to simply be herself. What made this new love stand out was how different it felt from Lou's past choices. In earlier seasons, her romances often carried tension, compromise, or conflict. This time it was gentler, more mature, more rooted in respect than drama. The man who captured her heart was not trying to change her or compete with her ambitions. Instead, he admired her strength and supported her as she carried the heavy weight of family and leadership. That acceptance allowed Lou to breathe again, and fans could see a side of her rarely shown softness without fear. The family noticed too. Amy saw it in the way Lou's eyes carried a quiet glow. Grandpa Jack noticed it in the laughter that had returned to Lou's voice. And even the ranch hands whispered that Lou seemed lighter, as if she was finally free from the storms of her past 4 years. Lou had been the protector, the one who carried everyone else's burdens. Now she was allowing someone to carry a part of hers, and that shift added a new spark to the family dynamic. The writers wove this love story with care, giving it space to grow slowly instead of rushing it for quick drama. By doing so, They reminded viewers that love stories are not just for the young, but for anyone brave enough to open their heart again. Lou's romance became not only her personal joy, but also a symbol of hope in the show that healing is possible at any stage of life. It gave fans a reason to cheer for her in a way they had not done in years. As the reveal unfolded, viewers felt both surprise and relief. Surprise that Lou, after so much heartache, found someone who truly understood her. Relief that after seasons of waiting, she was finally stepping into happiness. This storyline promised not only romance, but also future challenges. Because in Heartland, love is never without obstacles, but for now fans were content to see Lou smile again, a smile that hinted at a brighter chapter still to come at Heartland. The ranch is more than land and fences. It is a place where every decision echoes through generations. Amy's choice to hold on to Ty's love and Lou's decision to embrace a new romance did not stay confined to their hearts. Both choices spread outward, touching everyone who called the ranch home like ripples on pond. One decision influenced another, until the entire family felt the shift. Grandpa Jack was the first to sense the weight of it all. He had lived long enough to know that love and loss often walk hand in hand. When Amy confessed that she could not give her heart to Nathan because it would always belong to Ty, Jack's eyes carried pride mixed with sorrow. He admired her honesty, even as he worried that she might be closing herself off from future joy. At the same time, seeing Lou step into love again filled him with relief. He knew how hard she had fought to keep the family together, and he believed she deserved a companion who understood her strength. For Jack, these two storylines were not separate threads, but part of the same fabric. They showed him that the family was still learning how to balance grief with growth. For Amy's daughter Lindy, the changes were quieter, yet no less important. Children often sense what adults do not say. Lindy noticed the way her mother's eyes grew softer when she spoke of Ty. She also noticed Lou's laughter return, and in her innocent way, she accepted both truths without judgment. For her, it was simple. Love for Ty would always live in her mother's heart, and Lou's new happiness was something to celebrate. For viewers, this perspective reminded them that Heartland has always been about family, teaching the next generation how to carry both memories and new beginnings. The rest of the ranch felt the impact. The horses seemed to mirror the energy of their caretakers, calmer when Amy embraced her truth, livelier when Lou carried her joy. Even the daily routines of feeding, training, and mending fences seemed charged with new meaning. For fans, this was classic Heartland lives. Dramas woven into the ordinary tasks of ranch life, showing that every decision, no matter how personal, eventually touches the land and the people who live on it. What made this dynamic powerful was how it balanced tension with hope. Amy's refusal to move forward with Nathan created sadness, but it also brought clarity. Lou's new romance introduced excitement, but it also raised questions. Would the family support her choice? Would this man truly fit into the rhythm of ranch life? These questions gave the story forward momentum, promising that season 19 would not only be about endings, but also about fresh starts. Heartland has always thrived on the balance between individual choices and family unity. In this moment, Amy's loyalty and Lou's courage became two sides of the same coin. Both decisions challenged the family, both decisions shaped the ranch, and both decisions reminded viewers why the show continues to matter after nearly 2 decades. Because at Heartland, love is never just one person's story. It is every owner's shockwaves of Amy's decision and Lou's new romance did not stay on the ranch. They spread far beyond Heartland into the hearts of millions of fans who gathered online to share tears, cheers, and heated debates. Social media lit up with posts that sounded like conversations between old friends. Some fans declared that Amy choosing Ty over Nathan was the purest form of loyalty. Others argued it was unfair to Nathan, who had given so much of himself. For her, in living rooms across the world, the debate echoed, did Amy make the right choice? Or did she hold herself back from the chance to live fully again? For longtime viewers, Amy's choice felt like coming home. Many said that Ty and Amy's love was the very heartbeat of the show, and that to move on would have been a betrayal of everything Heartland stood for. They wrote about crying through the scene, about feeling a rush of nostalgia as memories of Ty filled the screen. These fans believed that the writers honored the legacy of the couple by letting Amy's heart stayed true even years after his loss, but there was another side. Nathan's supporters, who felt the heartbreak as if it were their own, they saw his patience, his gentleness, his willingness to wait, and they believed he deserved more. They posted messages filled with empathy for him and frustration that his story ended in sorrow. Some even argued that the Amir writers had wasted an opportunity to give Amy a second chapter in love. The divide between these two groups created one of the most passionate fan conversations Heartland has seen in years. Meanwhile, Lou's love story opened a new kind of conversation. Instead of division, it sparked curiosity. Who was this man really? Was he someone fans could trust? Or would his story hide complications yet to be revealed? Many viewers embraced the idea, immediately happy to see Lou smile again. Others raised theories that her romance would stir up new drama. Perhaps an old flame might return. Perhaps this new partner would face challenges fitting into the tight-knit Heartland family. Theories poured in faster than the episodes could answer them. What made these reactions so powerful was how personal they felt. Fans were not just watching a show, they were protecting a family they had grown with for nearly 2 decades. Every choice, every romance, every heartbreak mattered because these characters had become part of their own lives. That level of emotional investment kept the Heartland community alive with speculation. Some predicted that Nathan's arc was not over, that he would return stronger in the second half of the season. Others believed Lou's romance would carry twists that no one could yet see. At the heart of it all, fans proved once again why Heartland endures. It is not just the horses or the breathtaking Canadian landscapes. It is the way the show turns love choices and family struggles into stories that viewers see themselves in. And as season 19 unfolded, fans around the world leaned closer to their screens, ready to argue, ready to cry, ready to celebrate, because they knew the story was far from over. 2 choices, 2 stories, and 1 family forever changed. Amy holding on to Ty's memory and Lou stepping bravely into a new romance. These moments are not endings. They are the sparks of new beginnings that will shape every step forward in Heartland Season 19. The ranch has weathered storms before, but never has love itself felt like the storm and the shelter at the same time. For Amy, the path ahead is both clear and uncertain. It's clear because she has finally admitted that her love for Ty will never fade. Uncertain because life still demands that she grow, heal, and lead her daughter into the future. Will she remain anchored in the past? Or will she eventually discover a new way to balance love lost with the possibilities of tomorrow? Fans know this question will not be answered quickly, and that is why they will return episode after episode. For Nathan, the story does not end with heartbreak. His silence, his quiet dignity, his willingness to accept Amy's truth all point to a future where his journey might take a new shape. Will he leave Heartland in search of his own destiny, or will he stay and carve out a role beyond romance? The pain he carries now could very well become the strength that defines his next chapter. Viewers cannot help but wonder if this is the last we have seen of him, or only the beginning of something unexpected. And then there is Lou. Her smile tells us that a new fire has been lit in her heart. But Heartland has taught us that no love comes without trials. Will this man truly stand beside her when the weight of responsibility threatens to pull her under? Will her family embrace him as one of their own? Or will secrets test the bond before it even has the chance to grow? Lou's story is not just romance, it is the promise of new drama, new laughter, and new challenges that will ripple across the ranches. The screen fades and the season teases its next turn. One truth remains. Heartland thrives because it mirrors the truth of real life. Love is messy, love is painful, love is healing, and at Heartland, every love story, no matter how joyful or heartbreaking, becomes part of a legacy that binds generations together. So the questions linger like dust on a quiet trail. Will Amy ever open her heart again? Will Nathan's path lead him back or away? Will Lou's new romance become her forever, or just another chapter? The answers are waiting in the episodes yet to come, and fans will not stop watching until they find them, because on this ranch, every ending is just the beginning of another story.